Greetings, Benjamin J. from BENZTRAINZ with another in the series. Well, this is part 2 of derusting that 999 truck with vinegar. Now, I did part 1, and you saw how really rusty this thing was. It was covered in rust, with the rust actually beginning to turn to pitting. So no idea how we've done. I've changed the vinegar twice now. It's been about 15 hours, so not even the full 24. But you can see that all of the paint below this line is gone. So if that's an indication, hopefully 99% of this rust will have been removed. So we'll pull the truck out, dunk it down into water, rinse it for a second, and there is the result. So 90+% of the rust is gone. So still a few spots of rust. This is where it was particularly bad. It was actually turning into pitting. And you can feel that this is actually a series of little holes, really rough, where the stuff was eating down below surface. So a bit of rust left on this wheel, which is also really rough. So it was really starting to pit this. And a bit here on this end. The rest of it is virtually rust-free. This wheel is completely rust-free. This one, almost. It's got that big spot right there. But it did take all the paint off, as you see. But it also took off 99% of that rust. Now, it's not going to be perfect. The whole idea of doing this, of course, is that you don't have to mechanically try to get that rust off of there. To try to sit there and try to scrape this to get the rust off with all these little nooks and crannies and compound curves and stuff is really, really difficult and time-consuming. This way, 99% of the work is done by the acid in the vinegar. So I'll go ahead and just probably put this back in the acid for another, 10 hours. And what can't be removed that way, we will physically scrub away with a wire brush if we need to. But like I said, this is turning to pitting. So that was really, really rusted. And spot here, this had turned to pitting. And these spots here. And you can feel this is really, really rough. It doesn't feel anything like the rest of the steel. So that's below flush, actually eating down into the steel. But overall, 99% of that rust has been removed, and we didn't have to do anything. So I'll go ahead and return this to the vinegar for, maybe another 10 hours, maybe overnight, I'm not really sure, and see how much we can actually get off of this. But in the meantime, you can see that all of the rust, 99% of the rust is gone off of this truck, and this thing was just absolutely covered with rust. I mean, there wasn't a part of it that wasn't rusted. And even the axle has cleaned up, and you can see that the axle has been pitted as well. So this was some pretty bad rust. And trying to remove it mechanically is really difficult because you have to grind it away. And trying to do that and wind up with a usable part afterwards is really difficult to do. But this works. So like I said, I'll just throw it back in there for another, 10 or 12 hours. And see if we can't get all of this rust off. And it's been in there, like I said, about 15 hours now. So it actually had one vinegar change to go. But I just wanted to pull it out and see what kind of progress we've made. And this works. There's no doubt about that. So I'll return it to the vinegar. If we can't get this off chemically, then we'll have to mechanically remove it. But that was particularly bad. Like I said, this is pitting. It's actually eaten down into the steel. It's not just flush with it. It's not on it now. It's in it. So that spot, one spot on that wheel, the rest of it is virtually rust-free. So I'll put it back into the acid or the vinegar and replenish it, of course, to keep the acid levels up. And hopefully we can get 99% of that rust off of there. This side is completely derusted. That side, as you can see, that rust is below flush. It was actually eating down into the steel. But so far, so good. It's working. So I'll change this vinegar, put this back in for another 12 hours or so and see how we do. But I just want to do a quick video, a follow-up on that first video, so you can see a tremendous difference without having to do anything at all. And just get this cleaned up, and you can repaint it. You can pull the axle off and repaint it, and clean up the wheels a bit, and it will look virtually new. So I just wanted to do a quick video, dump this back down in the acid, and I will replenish this today and then let it soak probably the rest of the night. So I just wanted to do a quick video. One thing that you do want to remember that it is also going to remove the paint. So once this thing is finished, it's going to be back to bare steel. So I just wanted to do a quick follow-up video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email. BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.